free COVID tests by mail. Unionized writers and studios have reached a tentative deal to end the strike. Grady Newsource is live at Athena Studios with a local impact and a look into local Barrow County residents reducing the stigma around suicide. All that coming up on Grady Newsource.
Each American household is eligible for
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
I'm Olivia Potus with Grady Newsource. Starting today, you can once again get free. Good evening, I'm Olivia with Grady Newsource. Starting today, you can once again get free COVID tests delivered to your door. Grady Newsource reporter William Daltrey shows us how it works.
Well, what's important to note first is that, of course, the strike's been going on for 5 months. This suggests how deeply seated the issues have been. This is not simple.
Each American household is eligible for 4 free tests through the end of 2023. The United States Department of Health and Human Services is investing $600 million to get the program back up and running for the first time since May of this year. This comes at the heels of COVID cases increasing in the U.S. The CDC's website says hospital admissions are up 7.7%, with 20,538 hospitalizations in the most recent week. To request a test, just go to covidtest.gov and click on the button that says Order Free at-Home Tests. You then simply put your name, email address, and shipping address to get a free test. William Daughtry, Grady Newsource.
Following a nearly 5-month strike, the Writers Guild of America has reached a tentative agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Grady Newsource reporter Sailor Belts joins us live from Athena Studios with more details. On to you, Sailor.
Olivia, the wait could finally be over. As you mentioned, the writers and studios have reached that tentative agreement to officially end that strike. Now, nothing is official until the WGA ratifies that agreement. But upon ratification, this agreement could be a big step towards the return to normalcy for both film and TV production. Now, a lot has led up to the potential resolution of these negotiations. I talked to Dr. Jay Hamilton, and he provided a summary of those implications of that agreement.
Well, what's important to note first is that, of course, the strike's been going on for 5 months. This suggests how deeply seated the issues have been. This is not simply a discussion about some point here or there. This is about fundamental things as to how the industry has changed and how content has been monetized, especially since the emergence of streaming video and all the rest of this. So this has been a serious negotiation. It's not.
Now behind me is the recently opened Athena Studios. It's a facility with over 200,000 square feet of space for both film and TV production. Plus, it's less than a 15-minute drive from the University of Georgia campus. That provides students with hands-on experiences on set, whether they're interested in the industry or majoring within the industry. But with the WGA and Screen Actors Guild strikes, those opportunities have been few and far between. But with the potential resolution of this writer's strike, Dr. Hamilton says these studios could soon provide students with the opportunity to connect with major studios and even get experiences beyond their time at UGA.
It's not only a wonderful facility on its own, but it's going to be such a shot in the arm, not only economically and professionally and artistically for the Athens area, but also ideally a wonderful resource too for students here on campus, not only to see and just to know that kind of stuff is happening in their backyard, but ideally and potentially some opportunities for perhaps internships, for perhaps, work in the area and all the rest of that on set.
Now, with no WGA ratification yet and the SAG strike still in effect, Hollywood hasn't quite returned to normalcy just yet. But with this potential resolution of the writer's strike, we could be seeing more lights, cameras, and action here at these studios in the near future. In Athens, for Grady Newsource, I'm Sailor Betts. Back to you in the studio, Olivia.
Thank you so much, Sailor. The U.S. Congress is approaching its September 30th deadline to pass spending bills to prevent a governmental shutdown in U.S. history. Passing these bills can be a lengthy and complicated task. To become law, spending bills must pass both the House and Senate and be signed by the President, but they are now stuck in the House. If these spending measures are not decided by the end of the month, non-essential spending functions will be suspended. However, Social Security paychecks are still expected to go out. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department shared a press release earlier this morning regarding a drive-by shooting. The incident occurred just after midnight on Saturday in the 1900 block of Winterville Road. Several gunshots hit a resident on the block, and one juvenile inside was struck in the hand. Police says the hand was wounded, but it was a minor injury and the individual did not need medical transport. 2 other bullet holes were found at the neighboring residence that was unoccupied at the time. The investigation remains ongoing as the police ask anyone with information to contact them. Grady Newsource reporter Joe Copshow sat down with Athens-Clarke County Mayor Kelly Gritz, who is one of the nearly 50 mayors who wrote a letter to General Assembly and the governor calling for more gun control.
Athens-Clarke County Mayor Kelly Gritz joined 42 mayors across the state of Georgia in coming together to write an open letter to Governor Brian Kemp and the General Assembly. Mayor Gritz joined prominent mayors such as Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and Savannah Mayor Van Johnson to try and induce a statewide push to reduce these gun-related injuries and deaths. In the letter, the mayors asked for 5 main changes they would like to see. This includes requirements for safe storage and a focus on mental and behavioral health, among other things.
But we can't ignore the fact that Georgia is a much deadlier place around gun violence than other states. And so about 50 mayors and I have signed a letter together to the governor and to members of the General Assembly saying we need the state's help.
In 2021, gun-related deaths were up nearly 29.7% from 2019 in Georgia. Furthermore, gun deaths in Georgia per 100,000 people were 5.5 deaths higher than the national average. However, political analyst Charles Bullock doubts that the changes are likely to find any traction in the General Assembly.
The likelihood that the Georgia General Assembly is going to take any kind of major steps, I don't think that's in the works.
Despite knowing the precedent, Mayor Kelly Gritz is still hopeful that the governor and General Assembly will address the issues, even if it takes time.
So I think that we're going to move forward, not overnight, but we're going to move forward because the public is ready for this.
Reporting for Grady Newsource, I am Joe Copshow.
In honor of National Suicide Prevention Month, Grady Newsource is having Lindsay Barnhart tell us a little bit more about what the county and around the community is helping to prevent those who have lost a loved one by suicide and for more. Coming up after the break, we will have something new that we're introducing to our show called Solution Journalism. Stay tuned to find out what that means and what our first story will be.
Week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
During high
We still do it in memory of Candler, and it
We usually tell you the problems and the issues within the community, and we'll continue to do that, but starting today, every show we will have a story about what is going right. Thank you for joining us today, Raven. You are our Solutionist journalist today. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
So solutions journalism is when you are looking at a story from a social problem and you're just basically evaluating the limitations, who benefits from it, inside, meaning does the program even work or not for people that are going through it.
Wow. So tell me about the story that you did today.
So I did a story about the Goodwill Career Center of North Georgia, which is on Lexington Road here in Athens. And at that career center, they offer many things for people where they can print out resumes, they can fill out the resumes there, they also can do their interviews there, and they also offer services such as fixing credit scores, healthcare services, and even applying for food stamps.
So anyone can show up to this center and can receive help?
Yes, anyone, including UGA students if you're looking for a part-time job while you're here in Athens.
Oh, wow. And so where should they go to go receive this type of help?
So you can go to the Goodwill Career Center, which is on Lexington Road. And when you go in the center, you can also just register while you're in there. And after that, you would go to an info session, and that's it.
Wow, thank you so much. And anyone can just easily just do this. And how long is this going on for?
This has been going on for about 14 years.
Oh, well, awesome. So in case you didn't know, now you know, and it's going to be sticking around for a while? Awesome, that's amazing. And one more last thing, with doing solution journalism, what do you believe can help improve the community and impact that it can have to our viewers?
So as far as the Career Center, I feel like this can help with job searching, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and many people not having any jobs, unfortunately, anymore. So with this program, this gives people an extra step and extra help into getting and achieving their goals.
Wow, and I believe that we are always just showing news and issues that are going on, but I feel like we also need to take appreciation that there are things around in our community to help one another and help us grow and to achieve things. Awesome. And do you plan to keep on doing solution journalism even outside of this?
Yes, I do, because I feel like these stories are very important to whichever community you are reporting from.
Awesome. Well, that is amazing. And I'm so proud of this. And everyone, if you want to get any type of career help, please know to go down to Goodwill Career Center in North Georgia and to make sure you get help, since everyone is welcome to do so. Of course, thank you so much. In honor of National Suicide Prevention Month, Grady Newsource reporter Lindsay Bornhart shows us what a church in Winder, Georgia is doing for suicide prevention and those who have lost a loved one to suicide.
we still do it in memory of Candler, and it is still because of our love of Candler and the ways that he continues to touch us.
This is First Christian Church's 4th annual Walk Out of the Darkness after the loss of church member Candler Smith in 2017. It is a 1-mile loop around both the church and Winterboro High School in partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Clore says that since the church's first walk with AFSP in 2019, it has grown and gained more support from both participants and sponsors. The number of deaths by suicide in the U.S. is rising. It went up about 2.6% last year. In 2021, the CDC reported 48,183 deaths by suicide in the nation. In 2022, the number rose to about 49,449 deaths. Clore says an important part of her suicide prevention work is to break the stigma around talking about suicide.
Now, people will say suicide because of the walk. It's become something that they're willing to talk about.
Candler Smith's legacy will live on through the Walk Out of the Darkness hosted on October 22nd. Similarly, a walk is hosted at the University of Georgia in the spring, where students like Sophia Bradley can commemorate a lost loved one, as well as participate in suicide prevention.
The reason I got involved with it, because I lost my brother my senior year, the summer after my senior year, going into college.
Bradley worked UGA's Walk Out of the Darkness that was held in spring of 2023. She recruited sponsors and handed out beads which colors symbolize the type of experience each person has with suicide. She also intends to participate in the church's upcoming walk. Both Bradley and Clore said participation in AFSP's Walks Out of the Darkness represent community and togetherness to fight the issue of suicide. Apart from the walks, there are ways people can contribute to its prevention.
And just check up on your friends and just keep showing that they're not alone. And like even the people that you think you wouldn't have to check up on, like those are the people that you probably need to most.
For Grady Newsource, this is Lindsay Bornhorst.
Oconee County is offering a program that helps police respond to emergencies that involve people with special needs. Grady Newsource reporter Ethan Wells found out that they have less than 10 households in their database after its first month in place.
Oconee County has recently implemented Logan's Law, a law named after Logan Stewart. This law helps Oconee County Sheriff and medical response teams serve any person that needs special accommodations.
And it allows agencies to compile their own database of residents in their community that may have special needs. So in the event that we need to respond either medically or as police, we may know what some of their triggers are.
These triggers are important for police or medical personnel to know about when responding to emergencies. Triggers may include police lights or sirens. Police will be warned before arriving at residences to turn off these potential triggers. Police will also be notified beforehand if anyone in the home is non-verbal. Captain Smith believes Oconee County will benefit from as many participants as possible.
We're just trying to get the word out there that this is available, and if you're a resident of Oconee County or you know somebody that lives in Oconee County that this would benefit, we highly suggest that you go to our website and fill the form out. It's called Logan's List, and get it back to us and we'll take care of it.
Logan's Law takes a family less than 5 minutes to sign up for. Logan's Law covers a wide variety of people as well. This ranges from cases of autism, PTSD, and more.
It's for everyone. So if you have somebody that's got PTSD, or you've got an elderly person who's got dementia or Alzheimer's or situations like that, it's important we know those things too.
Ethan Wells, Grady Newsource.
Coming up after the break, we have Kelsey Ball giving us an update on this past weekend's sports.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. I'm Kelsey Ball with your weekend sports update. What a great weekend of sports. Let's start with football. Clark Central traveled to Jefferson High School Friday night for a region game. Jefferson won 22-14 and they now lead the 5A Region 8 with a 5-0 record. UGA head coach Kirby Smart now holds the record for most wins and highest winning percentage in the SEC in its first 100 games. Smart is 85-14 and he surpasses Nick Saban and Bear Bryant. UGA started slowly but dominated UAB 49-21 and remains number 1 in this week's AP poll. UGA has the longest consecutive win streak in the country with 21 wins. Heading over to the professional leagues, last night the Braves defeated the Nationals 8-5 and put the Braves' record to over 100 wins this season. This is the first time the Braves have hit over 100 wins since 2003. Looking ahead to this week, the Braves take on the Chicago Cubs and Washington Nationals at home throughout this weekend. UGA travels to Auburn for their first away game on Saturday with a 3:30 kickoff. After the break, Grady Newsource reporter Aiden Coulter will tell us what to expect for this week's weather and predictions for the upcoming winter.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
I'm Aiden Coulter with your weather forecast. Today was a beautiful sunny day with a few clouds and a high of 86 and humidity around 84%, but a low of 65 degrees later tonight. Though we saw some beautiful weather today, some clouds are going to set for a mostly cloudy night. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a low of 83 and high of 83, low of 64. Now when we get to Wednesday, it's going to be, sorry about that. When we get to Wednesday, there's going to be light rain, high of 75, low of 61. Thursday, clouds are moving in, but the rain is letting go at a high of 76 and a low of 60. And then Friday and Saturday will be beautiful, 79 and 61 degrees. Coming up after the break, Hadia Williams covers Georgia Library Service in their bingo for the visually impaired.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
The Georgia Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled is changing narrative for those with disabilities.
We got a winner! Okay!
Many clap and cheer as a woman who is visually impaired wins a round of Braille Bingo. The Winder community gathered at their public library to enjoy a bingo game hosted by the Georgia Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. This year, GLS started Programs on the Go, a service that gives those around Georgia with cognitive disabilities the opportunity to meet other people like them and to participate in activities that they wouldn't normally be able to.
We usually have it once a month in Atlanta, but we've started taking it on the road. We did one at Athens Clark County Library a couple months ago, had 52 people to show up, so we're really excited.
For each of their events, GLS provides assistance and transportation to any residents who want to be involved in their activities. During the bingo game, the participants have the option to use Braille bingo cards that have raised print numbers and Braille or regular cards to their preference. Snacks and drinks are also provided.
I got in the program and started going to the events or the meetings, playing bingo and socializing a little. I'm not a social person, but I get out the house. It's fun.
This is probably the most inspiring group I've ever worked with. They're a lot of fun, and despite their handicaps, they have a great time and just enjoy being together with other people that have similar handicaps in a fellowship setting.
As GLS continues to host events at various libraries in Georgia, their hope is to make the blind and disabled community feel included in the library setting and let them know that there is assistance available to them through their organization. Grady Newsource, Hadia Williams.
Thank you. I'm Olivia Potus with Grady Newsource. Good night.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways.